Oh, let's do this shit, you motherfathers. A little 2-game slate tonight. I'm not going to lie to you. I prefer a 2-game slate over a 1-game slate, which is weird seeing the show's called The Showdown, Hoedown, but I don't give a shit. I like that I'm not going to have to worry about being duped by 98 other donkey dicks. What's up, new guy? My name's James, better known as the Degenerate75. I'm a DFS content creator who is here to help you get a little bit better at DFS. If you don't know, this shit be tough, and you're stepping on your own dick on so many ways you don't even realize that. I'm going to try to help you with that with a little thing called The Process. No picks, no plays, plenty of other shows that do that. Go watch them. But if this does sound like a show you want to watch, I encourage you to hang around for about the next 30 minutes. Make sure to ask up to 2 questions over in the chat and hit the like, because we're going to be doing some giveaways, because I'm not a poor. You need to know that up front. If you really find you like the cut of my jib, check out that schedule right there. I do the show every Monday and Thursday. I do a Final Thought show Saturday night, 7 o'clock. That's in the Lord's time zone. And, of course, I do my preview show every Tuesday with Tambo. It will be on my station tomorrow at noon. Be there, ask questions as we prep for Week 15. Also, you need to know I do golf, I do college football, and soon to be doing NASCAR, but that's not what we're here for. For every 50 likes we get, I will be giving away a ticket into the Millionaire Maker or whatever the main contest is tonight, and I will split the profits with you 50-50. We will build it together. Just simply ask up to 2 questions. You'll be in there, okay? And I got to say this now. If you're one of my members over at DGen75, I'm giving away $5,000 this year for filling out this survey. So go fill out the survey. We want to be able to best serve you. We take great pride in being the little site that could and offering superior customer service and tools and content and doing it all without price gouging you. So go fill out that survey. Go get over there. We'll have it open for a week. Be eligible for $5,000 in drawings, okay? Let's get to it. Contest selection, new guy. Don't even have my tabs up. Here we go. Tonight, with a little 2-game slate, I imagine they probably got some decent ones, dude. Probably got some decent ones. By the way, if you don't like the 2-game slate, just simply go play the Showdown, right? If you find you're better at single-game Showdown, go play the Showdown slates. You don't got to play the 2-game slates. I will personally be playing the 2-game slates because that's where the contests are going to be. But more importantly, it just gives me more chances to kind of be different and be more creative, and that's what I like. I love a good 2 to 3 game NFL slate. Tonight, as always, just go play in contests that don't have so many people in them. Don't play in ones that are super top-heavy. If you would just remember these couple rules, you wouldn't already be out of money by week 9 of NFL, right? You can survive if you just play in well-structured contests, right? Let's just go let's go highlight a random example today. I think most of you can afford a $12 single entry, right? So here you go. This is the $12 single entry night. Well, let's see if this checks all the boxes. First of all, can you max enter it? Yes, it's a single entry, so with one $12 entry, you can be in it. I bet a lot of you are willing to play $12 tonight, so there you go. That's check number 1. Check number 2, is it under 5,000 people? Yes, I actually like it under, I prefer tournaments under 2,000, but under 5,000, I still consider a medium-sized contest, right? So this is what I would call, it's not getting into that big field contest. So check number 2. Number 3, how is the payout structure? Well, first place is exactly 10% of the entire prize pool. Very nice. Second place is 60% of first. That is nice. And 10th place is exactly 1/10. This $12 single entry checks every single box I look for whenever I am looking for a contest. These are the contests you should play in. You're going to go put in your one lineup into the $20, and you're inevitably going to see some fucking moron tonight that's going to be like, I won $90,000. Bro, like, this is why you've been losing your whole life. Like, anybody can hit a scratch off, all right? Like, if you're trying to make DFS sustainable, you need to stay the shit out of these contests with 88,000 people at them, right? And don't get caught up, well, that fucking idiot on Twitter hit that one, yes, but, like, what you didn't see is the last 7 years, all the money he's been donating, okay? So, just know that. Just know that. You need to get in contests that make it more sustainable. All right, let's get over to props. If you don't know, the big guy is leaning in hard into props into 2024. I'm going to be adding it to my site for under $10 a month because it's laughable what these donkey dicks like to overprice people for their prop picks. I'm previewing, giving you some free ones now just to show you we are a 2 out of 3 machine. Hopefully we get back after it and hit a 3 out of 3 tonight. Here's the 3 we like tonight. We're just using the same process, right? We're looking at where Vegas is laying softer lines versus what the projections would seem to have us lead to believe. Number 1, Jordan Love, over 20.5 completions, right? Jordan Love has kind of turned into a pretty good quarterback, dude. I think he's like a fringe top 10 quarterback in the NFL. He's been remarkably consistent, and he has been efficient. okay? And they're likely to be in a good game script. He may only throw the ball 30 times tonight, but if he only throws the ball 30 times, I would bet he completes around 70% of his passes, which would be 21. Anything over that, we're only going to like that even more. Jordan Love over 20.5 pass completions. I really like that one. A guy who likes to spread the ball around the field. Maybe you see a few less deep targets tonight with Christian Watson being out. We will take the over on 20.5 pass completions. I think a lot of people are going to take the Derrick Henry over on rushing attempts tonight. Oh, they're going to get blown out, and Derrick Henry's going to get game scripted out. I'm just going to tell you, as a guy who has watched the Titans all year, that motherfather doesn't get game scripted out. They'll be down 21 in the fourth quarter. Derrick Henry up the middle for 2 yards, okay? They don't give a shit. They're going to run Derrick Henry. I know Tajay Spears' role has been increasing, but Derrick Henry, if there's any chance they keep this game close or they just don't want to get embarrassed, I think you're going to see somewhere in the 15 to 18 range in carries for Derrick Henry tonight. We will take the over on his rushing attempts. And lastly, Nick Westbrook-Ikhine under 20.5 receiving yards. Treylon Burks is supposed to be likely getting back that second role. We already know DeAndre Hopkins is the alpha there. And old skinny jeans Levi's just ain't that good of a quarterback. And oh yeah, Westbrook-Ikhine gets one fucking catch a game. If it's under 20 yards, you're good. All right? So we are taking the under on his 20.5 receiving yards. Those are our 3 prop bets tonight. You can go find these on almost any of the sports books. I encourage you to get on there. Track along with us, because if you are up. You're doing very, very nicely, okay? Last call. This is the very last call. We are bringing on people onto the DGen75 team in 2024. If you are somebody who wants to help with doing these prop picks, you enjoy doing prop picks and you want to be a part of my team, reach out to the editor. Editor, put your contact information in the chat right now, okay? And we will set up a time to talk to you. If you are good at NASCAR DFS and you want to be part of the team in 2024, reach out to the editor. If you think that you could help with back-end administrative stuff, reach out to the editor. We're always looking to add quality candidates to the team so that we can offer the best product out there without doing this little thing called fucking price gouging like everybody else in the DFS community does. So reach out to the editor. He will get you set up with an interview. We're knocking him out this week, so reach out now or don't, right? I'm even open to PGA. I'm not sure, though. I'm not sure. PGA, my baby. All right, let's look at the weather. The first thing we should always check out is the weather. And tonight, honestly, both games look great. Of course, it's going to be a little bit colder in New York than in Miami. Fucking shocking. But here's what I will tell you. I'm not concerned about the weather in either of these games. It doesn't appear as though there's going to be any precipitation. I know this says 14-mile-an-hour winds in Miami, but I went and looked at the fancywindy.com because I'm not a poor, and it said it's going to be like 9 to 10 miles an hour. Not even considering the weather tonight. I don't think there's anything to factor in, so let's just get right over to the Rosetta Stone. All right, yes, this is the YouTube. I'm a poor version. All right. Yes. If you're like, hey, what are all them empty boxes? Look, if you want to know what my members get over on DGen75, this is the actual stone, right? It has the projections for both the captain and the flex. It has the optimal rate. That's how often they're showing up in the optimals. It has their ownership. It has their optimal leverage, which is how often they are or how much more they're showing up in the optimals than they are projected to be owned, so you can get a good idea of who the good leverage plays are. We have their ceiling points, we have their snaps, their targets, their rush game. We have each of the players' projections all put right here. We color code it to let you know if this is a cash guy, if this is a high upside guy, if this is a GPP guy. We have everything on here. But this is YouTube, so you're getting the I'm a poor version, and you're gonna like it, pal. All right. 2-game slate. And I think with a 2-game slate, you need to do a little bit of what you do on main slate on Sunday, but I think you really want to play this more as just a really exaggerated normal Monday night, right? Instead of it just doing that one game and kind of trying to ask yourself, how can I be different, right? I think we want to do that same thing, but we want to do it with 2 games. As always, there's 3 ways that you can really get different, right? The first one is you can just construct your roster different than everybody else. And if you don't know, I would bet that the majority of lineups, think about this sentence, the majority of lineups tonight will contain 3+ Dolphins. 3 or more Dolphins, right? 3, 4, 5 Dolphins are going to be very, very common in builds tonight. So just like we're always talking about 5-1s or 4-2s versus 3-3s and 5-1 builds for our normal Monday Night Showdown, simply not having 3 or more Dolphins in your lineup will already have you vastly different than a lot of other lineups, right? The next thing is normally we would talk about the captain, right? The captain is a great way to get leverage, but on a 2-game slate, there's not going to be a captain, right? It's going to be a traditional build. So I think that you need to do, how can you build a stack that is contrarian? Without question, the number 1 stack tonight is going to be Tua, shocking, with a 31-point total, or a 30-point total. And number 2 is going to be Jordan Love. And then it's going to be a massive gap to skinny jeans Levi's and old DeVito, right? So just picking a contrarian stack is another way to get different, right? The final one is just think about who is going to be owned. Tyreek Hill, I'm not kidding you, is going to be like 90% owned tonight. And he probably should be. He's like the closest thing to a free square ever. But I don't care but if God himself is 90% owned. I have to ask myself the question, is there a chance that he won't be in the optimal? Problem is tonight is it's so easy to get a lineup in because the pricing is so soft tonight that you're going to be able to get Hill in there and not have to punt anywhere else in your lineup. So maybe you consider about just building your roster a little bit different. Not starting with Tyreek Hill is the number one way to be different tonight, right? So those are some things you could consider to get different. Now let's talk about these games, update you on some injuries, answer some questions, and get the fuck out of here. Let me get a quick swig of the cold brew. All right, here we go. First game up, I guess, are they both going off at the same time? Do we have these times correct? That's so weird. First game, we're going to go Tennessee, Miami. The game's in Miami. What have I been telling you since week 2? You do not fade the Dolphins at home. They're unbelievable at home. They're an auto 28 points. Tennessee, not exactly world beaters at defense. How could you not love the Dolphins tonight? But let me go ahead and just tell you, what is a contrarian narrative night? I don't think that there's a narrative where Tennessee beats the shit out of Miami. But what happens if Tennessee is actually competitive tonight, right? What happens if they actually push Miami? What happens if this game is 31-24 or 31-28 or something ridiculous like that? Like Tennessee finally finds an offense. That is a narrative that nobody is going to be on. And if you're going with that, you have to ask yourself who's going to score these points for the Titans. And I think that the most logical answer would be old Levi's, right? Skinny jeans. Yes, he has sucked for many straight weeks. I know. I don't think he's good, but he has had good games. And there could be a chance they just say fucking YOLO tonight and go for it, all right? I also think that in that script, you probably would see a fair amount of Derrick Henry doing well. Derrick Henry is dust. Even when he has good games, you're like, that was kind of luck, Sacky, bro. You're not that good. But he could be there. If you think that maybe Tennessee is going to be getting their asses kicked and they're going to try to come storming back in the second half in garbage time, maybe Tajay Spears stacked with Levi's is the sneaky one. Maybe he gets 6 or 7 targets out of the backfield. Maybe you get lucky, he catches one and runs it in the house. They lose this game 31-17 or something like that, right? Of course, DeAndre Hopkins, with pricing being so soft, people are just going to be able to get him in their lineup so easily. He is going to certainly be the most popular run back from the Titans as people are running their Dolphin stack. So maybe you just run a Dolphin stack, but then don't run it back with DeAndre Hopkins, and that's going to help you have a different build than a lot of other people. I will tell you, I do think Treylon Burks is likely to get that second wide receiver spot back. He was banged up with injury. Once he came back very slow, but there has been some coach talk that he is going to be there. Never forget that Treylon Burks is a good receiver. They, being the Titans, did spend draft equity on him, and I think you're going to see him back up into that second wide receiver spot tonight. From there, Westbrook, Akeen, and Chris Moore are always options, but like, is Levis really going to be passing the ball around to third and fourth wide receivers on the team? I fucking doubt it. But I think probably the best value at tight end on this slate, and because of that, he's going to be wildly popular, is going to be our dude Shig. Shig is at 3,100, is laughably underpriced on this slate. He is a guy that has been getting a decent amount of targets. He gets those really nice air yards for a tight end, and he's going to be popular. And so, if you want to use Shig, I don't blame you. I really don't. But what you can't do is just do this like Tua, Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, Shig run back. That is going to be such a popular contrarian build, and you're just going to be getting into the exact same build as so many other people on the slate, so be careful when you do that. Moving on, and you could always, Tennessee's defense is as much as Miami throws, maybe there's something there, but I would say there's probably better defenses to get it in against Miami. Okay. Moving over to Miami Dolphins, I mean, just the absolute nuts on this slate. Tua has been so good this year. He is like a god-level efficiency at home. 7,300 is just stupid underpricing. He should be like $9,000 on this slate. His 2 pass catchers, he only throws the ball to Tyreek Hill and to a lesser extent Jalen Waddle. And then after that, it's like, good luck, right? There could be a chance Berrios, Craycraft, one of the slapdick wide receivers catches a touchdown. But to me, if you want to punt on a Dolphins pass catcher tonight, I think Durham Smythe's the guy. He's still out there a lot. He's out on the field. Why they never throw him the ball, I'll never know. I will never know, but he is out there. So I would say if you want to play a weird Dolphin piece in a stack, I think Durham Smythe is the one that offers you the most upside without his ownership being ridiculous. But what it really comes down to me tonight is what do we do with this Dolphins backfield, right? There is a decent chance that maybe the Dolphins just get ahead and they just run the shit out of the ball. I do think you will see a good amount of Mostert in the first half. We already said on the Sunday show we like the over on his, 40 or 45 and a half yard rushing. I think you're going to see a good amount of him. I would not be surprised if he gets you a rushing touchdown. And Devin Achane, everybody is going to play. He's going to be wildly popular tonight because he always gets there. But never forget, he gets a lot of his work done in scrub time. And you can say, well, Miami's going to blow him out tonight, so he's going to get a scrub time. I will grant you that point. If you think Miami is going to blow out Tennessee tonight, I don't really see any way you can fade Devin Achane because there's a chance he could just get there in the natural flow of the game as he will roughly be getting about every other drive. But then there's also, all right, well, Mostert had the good first half. Achane gets it all to himself in the second half. That also gets there. So if you think Miami is truly going to beat the brakes off of the Titans tonight, I have a really hard time coming up with a narrative to see how Devin Achane would not be a part of that. If you think that maybe Miami's going to dick around and be in a competitive game, well, then maybe that it increases the value of Mostert. Maybe that increases the value of Tua in the passing game. But to me, Devin Achane is the one guy that you could really get some leverage on. And if he just doesn't have that wild, efficient game, maybe you can get there. But once again, if you think Miami is going to beat the shit out of the Titans, which Vegas is telling us they are definitely going to beat the shit out of the Titans with a nearly 2-touchdown favorite, then it's really hard to come up with a way to fade Devin Achane. Sorry. Moving on, Green Bay and the Giants, a much lower total. You can see we only have a 37-point total here, right? But don't forget, Green Bay has been sneaky good at offense, and they are without a lot of usage this game. Aaron Jones and Christian Watson are out, right? That's two of the, arguably the two biggest cogs of their offense outside of Jordan Love. And so with that, A.J. Dillon is just going to be just donkey dick chalk owned, right? I'm talking probably 60 or 70%. The only reason that he's not going to be 90% is just because there's other good running backs on the slate that will keep his ownership somewhat reasonable, right? But A.J. Dillon, he kind of has a tendency to suck sometimes, right? So just bear in mind, right? That could possibly be a flop, like especially if Green Bay is passing the ball efficiency. Maybe A.J. Dillon just has 17 carries for 53 yards, one catch for 3 yards, and doesn't score a touchdown. And in that case, he ain't going to get there. I'm not telling you to fade these guys. I'm just coming up with reasonable ways in which some of these chalk donkeys could let down a vast majority of the field. And if you can just fade one of those guys that's 60 or 70% owned and let 60 to 70% of lineups take that bad score and you're pivoting to somebody else, that really can be enough to put you in a driver's seat to win a GPP tonight. I think instead of Aaron Jones being out and asking what do we do with that backfield, I'm more interested in with Christian Watson being out and who is going to absorb that usage for the Packers. And to me, I think that everybody is going to assume that it's going to be Romeo Doubs and Jaden Reed. And that's probably correct, right? Jaden Reed is a guy that they love to get the ball to in a variety of ways. He gets a lot of easy targets. He gets jet sweeps. He gets all kinds of different targets. And he is a guy that just seems to have a nose for the end zone. Romeo Doubs is a guy kind of like, that catches more contested passes. And guys like that can be great because they tend to get bigger throws down the field, which can lead to more yards. They tend to get more red zone targets. But the problem with those guys is sometimes they don't catch those contested passes, right? Hashtag T. Higgins. So you always got to be aware of, do you really want to play that? And I think if you really want to play a Jordan Love stack, I think the way to play him and to get a little bit different is to look at these third and fourth wide receivers. I think Datavion Wicks and old Malik Heathbar are two guys that all you need is 2 catches, 30 yards, and a touchdown, and that could be the difference piece that you need to get there with a Jordan Love stack. But don't forget about our dude Tucker Kraft. As everybody on the slate is likely to go play Shig, I think Tucker Kraft offers a really interesting piece here, right? The dude's kind of a stud. Just watch him play. The guy can play, and I think he will be out on the field. I think that he will be getting targets, and I think that he is very viable. And if you want to run a Jordan Love stack, I get it. Once again, he is laughably underpriced. I think Green Bay could easily score 3 or 4 touchdowns tonight, 450 yards of offense. And if they do that, a Jordan Love stack could get there, and it will be lower owned than Tua stacks. But you got to ask yourself, how can I run this Jordan Love stack and not stack it the exact same way that everybody else is? Because most people that run a Jordan Love stack tonight are probably just going to double stack him with Reed and Dobbs. So this is a way that you can get a little bit different by considering Kraft, considering Wicks, and considering Heath, or if you're a real slime ball, maybe even Patrick Taylor. What the fuck? All right, moving on to the Giants. Old Tommy DeVito, right? At 5,100, no one is going to run a Tommy DeVito stack. I'm not kidding. He will border on single-digit ownership. But we've seen this guy, is it that crazy that he could get 18 points tonight? And maybe 18 points won't be good enough if Tua goes for 30. But 18 points, that he could end up being the guy who scores the most points per dollar. I don't think there's a very good chance he's going to be the highest scoring quarterback on the slate. But at 5,100, we don't need him to be the highest scoring quarterback on the slate. Throw for 200 yards, rush for 50, luck sack, run a touchdown, and throw one touchdown. Get us to that 18-point threshold, and all of a sudden, if you have the one guy he throws the touchdown to, you have this weird skinny stack that nobody else played, and now you have constructed your roster different. You still went and played Tyreek Hill. You still went and did this and this and this, all these other obvious plays, but you ran with a stack that was just a little bit different, right? And just that stack being different is going to be good enough to make your lineup very unique and built very differently than other people, right? Now, there is the whole middle ground where the Giants and Tommy DeVito suck. We cannot forget that little caveat, right? But I think that it is at least worth considering that on a 4-game slate, especially with Jordan Love and Tua not offering that big rushing upside, maybe Tommy DeVito could be a guy. Maybe a quarterback sneaks one in, right? That could be really, really big, and that could be the difference in him getting there as a cheap quarterback, but more important than that, as a low-owned quarterback. I think DeVito is one of the few quarterbacks on the slate that I would want to pair with his running back. Saquon is very involved. A DeVito, Barkley, and then trying to find whatever one of these wide receivers is going to score a touchdown, whether it's Wandell, Slayton, Hyatt, who the fuck ever you think. I think that is a really interesting little stack, right, that no one is going to build around. People are going to play Saquon tonight. He will definitively be the highest owned Giant tonight, but no one is going to play Saquon with DeVito and whoever. Slayton, Hyatt, Robinson, Bellinger, whoever your random pick a Giant slap dick is, okay? So that is a way right there to get different and be in something. The Giants are going to be at home. They do have a 16-point total, so it wouldn't be crazy they score 21, 24 points. And we've always seen this. These are professional football teams. Remember a couple weeks ago they were saying they was the worst quarterback in the NFL? I think the dude legit threw like 3 touchdowns that week. The biggest problem with the Giants is trying to figure out which of these pass catchers could get there for you. But like one of them's going to probably have a good game. I just have no idea who it's going to be. Wandell, Slayton, Hyatt, Bellinger would probably be my 4 best guesses. But I would bet no money on that, right? So trying to, hit the roulette with old Tommy DeVito is an interesting strategy. Another thing to consider is play the Giants defense. They got some dudes that'll get after you, right? Is it that crazy that they could block a punt and take it to the house, that they could intercept Love a couple times, maybe return one to the house, have 3 sacks? They could get you like 12 or 13 points tonight, and that's going to be a very low-owned defense, and they're at home, and I always like defenses at home, right? So just something to consider. There you go. That is the breakdown of the slate. I'm going to get to some questions. Make sure we get us up to 100 likes. I got 161 people in here, only 81 likes. What the fuck? Hey, guys, come check out dgen75.com. It is the perfect month to sign up. We have college football, all the bowl games. We have the final month of NFL coming towards us. And, you can get everything we offer. The Rosetta Stone, the behind-the-paywall content, the access to the Discord, all of the stuff that we do. My points, my projections, my ownership, all of that. And you can do it right here. NFL football package is $34.99. And here's the best chance. If you just use code LASTCHANCE up through today, you can get it for another 15% off. It's less than $30 a month for everything we offer, and that's a full month of all of the football content, both NFL and college football. If you've never tried college football DFS, you're going to want to try it, bub. Also, big shout out to our winners. We had another crazy week. I can't wait to see the new update one tomorrow, but here's all of our winners from this week. It is not about me or my moderators at my site. We celebrate the users and how they do. So shout out to all my mother fathers flying the flag, hitting it. It's not about if you play $10,000 a week or you play $10 a week or you play 10 cents a week. If you're having fun with it, you're having a sustainable time, and you have a screenshot you're proud of, we're proud of it too. All right. And yes, I have the Rosetta Stone, which is cool, and people are trying to copy it. All right, let's get to the drawing. Editor, I only see 91 likes, so draw me one name for now. Once we get to 100, we will do another one. While the editor is drawing that, I'm going to go ahead and tell you, do not forget to go check out my dudes over at Shipet. That is Tambo, Hoop, and Title. We'll be breaking down the Monday Night Football slate tonight right at the top of the hour. So once you get done watching this, go have yourself a little cold brew and then go watch them talk about Monday Night Football, you slime balls. Shit smacks, all right? So, while the editor is being slower than a 3-legged turtle, I'm going to start getting to some questions. Keep hitting that like for me, you mother fathers. Let me get back over to the Rosetta Stone, and I'll answer some questions. It looks like Apollo the King. Let's go. Apollo, you won. Once we get to 100 likes, guys, Apollo, reach out to me. We will do the lineup tonight, either through Twitter or the Discord. And for the rest of you, once we get up to 100 likes, we will be hitting another one. Let me scroll back up here to the top of the chat. Answer your questions. If you ask more than 2, I will kick you in the dick, and then I will kick you out. How do we fade all the Dolphins chalk? Look, big deal. There's no way you fade all the Dolphins tonight. I think it's foolish. On this slate with that total, there is no way that not one or two of those Dolphins is going to be in the optimal. To completely fade the Dolphins, just let me go ahead and tell you how this is going to end. You ain't going to fucking win, all right? This isn't PGA where we can get super cute and just fade all the chalk, and sometimes it works. There's literally not a simulation tonight where no Dolphin is going to be in a winning lineup. One of those Dolphins is going to be. The good news is I actually think that there is a pretty good selection of them. I think it could be Waddle. Of course, it could be Tyreek Hill. It could be Mostert, and it could be a Chan. It's not obvious who it's going to be. So the good thing about the Dolphins is even though they are certainly going to put 1, 2, 3 guys in the optimal tonight, we aren't 100% sure who it is. Yes, we can assume it's going to be Tyreek Hill, and at 80, 90% ownership, I think that there is a path to fading that if you got some big old hairy testicles. For you ladies, whatever the equivalent to that is. Favorite captain on each of the showdowns. Snoop Loop, I don't do fucking picks. Get out of here with your stupid questions. Giants, could you put up any points tonight, or they could? Giants, yeah, I agree, Nick. If to me, the best sleeper team tonight, Nick, is the Giants, right? They're at home. It's not like the Green Bay has like fucking 85 Bears defense, okay? Like they could sneaky score 21, 24 points, get us 400 yards of offense, complete 25 passes, and that could be a big game. So I think the Giants are the sneakiest team on the slate. They suck. Okay, they do suck, but like they only have to be good for one night, Bob. Tommy DeVito, just like the Patriots. Patriots suck. They could never do good. They looked pretty fucking good the other night, didn't they? Okay. Does Tommy DeVito have any redeeming qualities to warrant a play tonight? Yeah, I mean, he's had good games, Reclage. He's in my consideration pool. He is. Him, and if you're not considering him and old skinny jeans Levi's, I don't think you're doing it right. I don't think you should play him, but to just instantly mark them off because they suck on a 2-game slate, I think you're being incredibly short-sighted. We should lock Hill, right? I mean, I look, if I'm playing Tyreek Hill, I'm putting 100% of my lineups because that's the only way you're going to get leverage on him, and even that will be a laughably small leverage. I think we have him projected right at 85% tonight. So even at 100%, you have like negligible leverage on him. Looks like finding the tight end with a shamrock shoved up his ass could be the key tonight. Thoughts? Yeah, Smythe and Cager. I think Smythe is a really good one tonight. He just hasn't delivered all year. You know that guy. He could just randomly get a touchdown and 5 catches tonight. Cager, yeah, I think he's interesting, and so I think Bellinger is too. Right? Shig, I think is a great play, but I also just don't want to play a chalky Shig. So there's that problem, right? Bryant says, who looks to benefit the most in the Packers wide receiver room from Christian Watson being out tonight? Who looks to so to me, I think the obvious answers are going to be Reed and Dobbs, but I think I'm kind of low-key interested in Wicks. I think Wicks could be the one. I don't have hot takes on that, but that would be a guy to consider that could get a little bit. And I think something else to remember, Bryant, is everybody always just assumes that role is always going to be gobbled up by another wide receiver. What if some of it goes to Tucker Kraft? Why couldn't a tight end get a couple more targets because he's out, right? How many Dolphins is too many Dolphins? I think playing 3 Dolphins or 4 Dolphins is kind of dumb because that's how so many people are going to play. I think you play 1 Dolphin or 2 Dolphins, or maybe you skip all the way to 5 Dolphins. I think that's the way to really get different, right? No real question, but has the editor scheduled interviews yet? I'm trying to go to work. I don't think he has. The editor is like deathly sick, but just follow up with him. He'll schedule you, I promise. Will the dual field showdown be more popular than a single game showdown? I don't think so. The contests look about the same. I think it'll be more fun to watch, that's for sure. Editor, I see 100 likes. Do me another drawing. Roster construction. Would you build a single entry 2 favorite lineups or 2 dog lineups and just mix and match, or is it too cute? I would probably go with the first one, Jerry. Let's go, you motherfathers. Packer onslaught for the win tonight. I think, a Packer onslaught will be a lot less popular. If you go Love, Dillon, Reed, Kraft, and the Packers defense, no one's going to build that way, right? I think a lot of people are going to have 2 or 3 Packers. I don't think anybody's going to have 4 or 5 Packers. So if you think they're going to score 28 points, maybe 35, hell, maybe they get a defensive touchdown late, I could see that happening. I really could. I'm just not convinced that the Giants are as bad as everybody thinks they are. Let's see. Who do you be a different DK single entry without being stupid? I think you just look to maybe grabbing a piece or 2 of Dolphins and then maybe stacking DeVito or Levi's. And if that makes you too gross, overstack the Packers. I think that's 3 different ways to be different right there. Do I fade using both QBs in cash? Do 2 single entry showdowns Oh, wait, you're talking about single game? I don't have the single game stuff on me. I don't have their prices, so I can't answer that. But, depending on the price, quarterbacks is usually the best way to go. Looks like we have, oh my God, Petrini won again. Jeez, I just said, editor, fuck, draw somebody else. He just won. I want another winner. Petrini wins too goddamn much. Somebody else. I want somebody else. Petrini is disqualified. He just won. Draw another one, editor. I want more people to win. I don't want the same 4 fucking people always winning. If you had to play one game tonight just for Showdown, which one would you play? The Giants Green Bay. I think there's a lot more ways to be clever in that game. Just my attention. Does Miami feel like does fading Miami studs feel like suicide? Yeah, I one of between a Chan Mostert, Hill, and Waddle, one of them I will bet my right testicle will be in the optimal. So to fade them all, I think is short-sighted. How to get Contrarian without losing a bunch of EV and equity? Already answered that question. Waddle outperforming Hill this week? I mean, it could happen. I would say it's probably only about a 20% proposition, but it could. Hill is just electric, man. All right, there we go. CSS 2615. You are the second winner. Let's see. Oh, right here. This is this question. 3 RB builds viable tonight. Right on cue. CSS 2615. Yeah. I actually like 3 running back builds tonight, right? I think the running backs are going to be outside of Barkley and A.J. Dillon. I don't think a lot of these running backs are going to be owned as much as they should be. That Derrick Henry, just because of the game script, and then Achane and Mostert are going to keep each other nerfed a little bit just simply because of the chance that they split the carries, right? What's up, motherfather? That don't count as a question. Any type of tight ends tickling your fancy tonight? Yeah, I kind of like all these tight ends. I liked Shig until I saw his ownership. I've already talked about Durham Smythe. I do like Kraft, and I think that Cager or Bellinger, one of them could get there. I don't know which one, so I'll probably lean towards the first 2 I stated. Do any of the Giants wide receivers look decent tonight with Tommy D at quarterback? Yeah, I'm telling you, Ross, that's the one I'm struggling to figure out the most. I would lean Hyatt as just straight big play. He could get that 150-yard touchdown and get there. I think Wandell will almost certainly get the most targets, and I think Slayton is probably is kind of the hybrid of those two, would be my take on it. Matthew Merrick says, I love to live the Contrarian life, but I'm not thinking tonight's that night. Best way to get different while doing it. I already answered that. Run heavy script tonight. Yeah, I mean, that's a way. Maybe run both. How about this? How about both of the Dolphins running backs and fading Tua? How about that, Apollo? I think that's a way to get different. With Henry getting hurt last night, do you think that it may reduce his carries tonight? I'm not too worried about that. I think that they're kind of at the YOLO part of the season. They're going to run him into the ground. Dad bought in the house. Keep crushing it. Are you liking some 4-2 Titans on Showdown? Yeah, so you are talking Showdown. That would be the best way to get different. I certainly couldn't go 5-1, but maybe a 4-2 and then try to hit one of those 2 running backs for Miami and one of those 2 wide receivers. That would probably be a pretty good build, Justin, to get quite a bit different. Your favorite way to get different in Classic tonight, considering I've decided I need Tyreek. So in Classic, if you're playing Tyreek, you just simply play consider Levis or Levi's or DeVito as your quarterback stack. Thoughts on playing all 3 running backs, Henry, Achane, and Mostert? I think I could see it. I think playing both the Miami running backs is interesting. What's your favorite or they could play tonight? Anybody from the Giants? The Giants are the ultimate or they could team. No one's giving them any chance, and I'm just not convinced that Green Bay's world beaters, especially on defense. Picking the correct Giants wide receiver to ship it, I don't mind that, especially in the big field stuff. Hyatt or Slayton? Slayton safer, Hyatt bigger upside. What do you put in your cold brew? I don't put anything in my cold brew. Drink this black as my soul, you motherfucker. Smash the like button. Billy gets it. Heath too smart. Heath to smart. I don't know what the fuck you're saying. Let's see. Steven says, in a cash game, it feels like you should start out with Dolphins. Yeah, I think a Dolphins onslaught's probably a pretty good idea for cash. Yes, I do. Take the points. Henry or Dillon? Dillon's much safer. Henry probably much lower owned and I guess could have a bigger upside, but I'm not even sure about that. I often worry about old Derrick Henry's upside. Looking for questions. Jay says, what's the best process on a 3-max or 2-game slate? Eat the chalk with one and lean Contrarian with the other? No, I think every lineup you're going to want to have some chalk in it, and then ask yourself when you look at every lineup, what am I doing to make this lineup different than what everybody else is doing? Whether that is maybe a punt piece, maybe that's running a different stack, maybe that's double stacking Dolphins running backs. Ask yourself, how is this lineup going to be different than everybody else? No weather concerns. Jordan Love stack. Do pass catches with Kraft and Reed or just one? I think Jordan Love's the guy that could get there with two. Tight end sucks on the slate. Would you consider playing 2,500 even if you get 0 points? Tight ends suck on this slate. Yeah, I mean but they suck equally. If you're paying 2,500, even if you get 0 points and you have few hundred to spend, I think tonight is a very good night to leave $1,000 on the table. And part of the reason is those tight ends are so cheap. It's going to be very easy. Giants D with my Love stacks should be different. Hope the pick 6 and Love gets right back on the ball. Giants D with my Love stacks. Yeah, I think so. Yep, I like that. I always like that. I think that defenses can correlate with a quarterback. Yep. Comment God. Would you use a captain tight end? Would you use a captain tight end so that you don't have to have a scrappy flex? No, I just don't think they have they're never going to get you enough points. That's just my opinion. I don't think any of those. I mean, maybe Shig could, but it's very thin margin. Would you play Mostert and Achane together with a 2 of fade? Yes. I think that makes a lot of sense. I think those correlate nicely. Let's see. Plus, wait, did Pentrini go over his number of questions? All right, let's see. Just justifying screwing him. All right. Is it all right to fade like entire Titans? I don't think so, man. I mean, I guess if you think it's going to be like 31-7, maybe, right? I guess that could be. Can you play both Achane and Mostert in the same lineup? Already answered it. Would you fade Dobbs and go with Reed? Yeah, I think I prefer Reed, but I think Dobbs is going to be lower owned, which makes him interesting. Do you favor Hyatt or Wandell? Once again, Wandell for the floor, Hyatt for the ceiling. Are your drawings on Twitter, peeps, or is that just for Saturday live streams? Yeah, the ones on Twitter, the like and retweet, we only do that for the Saturday one, right? Read the messages. Any thoughts on using both Dolphins running backs and a mega field GPP? Like it. You guys keep asking the same goddamn question. Giants blitz are 40% rate at KC are at 30%. Love scorched KC. Do you think that they could repeat this feat? Absolutely. When you play a single $12 to $50 under 1K field contest, your player lineups, you lean towards cash game type play. No, I just built Rick. I think that's a common way that people get wrong. They just start building their single entries like a cash lineup. Fuck that. I still build it to win a GPP. It's just I don't need every single one of my plays to go right to be able to win it. Make sense? Dylan to fall into the box twice tonight? Probably, because I'm fading him. All right, what's the biggest win this year? What is your biggest win this year? I've won I don't know, 30,000 maybe a couple times. I've won 15 GPPs now that were over $10,000 this year. I just don't play in the big I don't play in screenshot chaser GPPs, right? You don't see me. First of all, I don't post any of my wins, right? I've quit doing that. I don't want fucking people joining my site because I'm a screenshot guy. And the second thing is most of the contests I play, first place is $10,000, $20,000, $30,000. So you're never going to see me hit $1 million or see me hit 100,000 because I rarely play in those contests, right? So that's just how it is, right? Won the main yesterday at PGA DFS. It just was never going to pay $100,000. So be it. That's that. So my biggest win this year is around 30,000, but I've also hit 15 of them that were above 10. So very, very consistent year. Anyways, that's it, guys. I think I'm done. I will get out of here. Do not forget to go check out DGen75 and use that code Last Chance to get 15% off. Also, do not forget to go check out my boys over at Shipet at the top of the hour. And once again, last call to reach out to the editor if you want to be a part of the team. He will get back to you slowly but surely. Thank all of you for being here. Hit the like on your way out. I appreciate you guys. It's been real, but the big guy's got to run. Enjoy this outro.